What's up guys, welcome back to my reaction channel. It's your boy Chris, bringing you with another SCP reaction video. And today we're gonna be reacting to SCP 3008, Tales from the Ikea, the Rooster. Y'all know how it is, but SCP illustrated by the way, so this isn't an SCP animation, but it should be good, you know. Anyways, like the video guys, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button for post notifications. If you have any suggestions, comment down below. That being said, let's get into the intro.
Good day everyone and welcome back to SCP Illustrated, entry log 120. Today we're taking another look at SCP-3008.
There's a lot of version of
SCP-3008
from the Ikea, you know.
There's a lot of potential for
like,
more stories, which
bro,
is why
there's a
I
lot of
wrote this
version of
table.
it from
This
different
tale isn't
people,
on
you
the
know,
wiki.
from
It's
different
not exactly
authors and shit.
wiki quality, I would say. It's just a little thing I cooked up. If you do enjoy it, be sure to let me know and I will endeavour to make more.
Oh, so this one is made
This
by
video does
him
contain
personally.
strong language,
Okay.
some scenes of strong violence and blood. And without further ado, let's begin.
Chapter 1, The Roosters.
The following data release has been authorised by the following council members and administration staff. Hey, you alright, Mitch? Take a seat, lad. You can give me some company for a bit. Should be a quiet one tonight. Sasha and the others set up some new traps earlier. So how are you adjusting to life in here? I know how you feel. We were all new here once. You actually got lucky by running into us, son. A lot of the other tribes around here aren't as welcoming as us.
Tribes. Oh yeah, I remember
Here,
those.
drink this.
Yeah.
It'll put hairs on your chest. It's good, isn't it?
Pause. Context though, the Ikea itself was infinite, you know, it's ever expanding as far as I know. Anyways, there's a lot of people who's actually transported there, and then they form a group or a tribe as they call it to survive, you know. There's been war between each other going on, you know what I'm saying? Been here and there.
These awesome girls over at the bar from Miles make it. There's this one girl over there called Sarah. No idea how she does it, but she makes the best bootleg spirits you can find in here. Used to be a chemistry scientist or something before all this.
Being chemistry scientist,
you'll meet them soon.
Though, and then just reduce
You'll meet loads of people soon. Here, hush a second. You hear that? That dum 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 dum.
What?
Yeah, that faint drumming sound. That's the Rooster clan. Here, look.
Rooster
You see that
clan.
glow in the distance? About 20 or so stacks over that way? Yeah. That's the Rooster clan. Though you'd be forgiven for thinking of them as more of a cult. An alright bunch of people, I guess, but weird though. Every morning, soon as the lights come on, they start yelling and screaming. You see, they believe that this is some kind of afterlife, and that they need to scream bloody murder every morning at the crack of dawn to please the great Ikea god. Fucking nutters. During the night, they play drums. I know, right? The one time you don't want to draw attention to yourselves and they throw on a concert. It's not too bad from here though, and sometimes it's nice to be reminded that there are others out there.
So that's why it's
Here,
called Roosters.
You fancy hearing a little tale of them lot? Good. It'll help pass the time. So it was about a year or so ago, I would say. Me and Nancy had come in here looking for some new cabinets for the bedrooms, and to tell you the truth, I was bored out of my fucking mind. Took me a few hours of pushing around a trolley with a dodgy wheel before realising that the exit's done a runner. Nancy nearly shit herself when she saw the staff for the first time. Thankfully, we got picked up by another community and they took us in. This place called The Exchange.
The last video that I
They were
made
an
about
alright bunch.
Ikea, the
There was
Exchange.
some weird guy though who was always writing in his journal. Last time I saw him was when we were making a break for the checkouts. The place got overrun. We held out for as long as we could, but the attacks were getting worse, and then
So this guy came from
one day
that
the walls
shit.
fell.
Okay.
Turns out a piece of one of those things was in our supplies. Dead staff attract living staff, you see. So the group kind of broke apart at that point. Night came and we were all being chased by the staff, so we all lost each other. Me, Nancy, Elliot and Sasha managed to take cover on top of some shelves. The staff saw us go up, but they didn't care. They were too busy beating the poor fuckers too slow to outrun them. By morning, it was just us four, surrounded by the dead that we once called friends. People we once knew beaten to a pulp and left to rot. The smell though, lad. I hope you never have to smell a smell like what I smelled that morning. Blood, shit, and all other manner of bodily fluids that had been beaten out of them. We couldn't exactly do anything at that point. You can't dig through concrete to make a grave, so
Yeah,
we just
you
left
have no
them.
choice though. Like,
We roamed about for a few hours trying to come up with a plan, and then we came across this. An entire settlement built up on one of the support columns. Fucking genius. The staff can't reach us, and we can see anyone who tries to make a move on us. Not sure why whoever lived here before abandoned it.
they
There
didn't
were
abandon
tents,
it.
tin
Maybe
food,
they
all sorts.
just
Though there was some faded words
Follow
on the
me.
floor written in blood by the look of it saying, "Follow me." That was pretty disturbing, especially after the day we had had. Anyway, we moved in and called it home. Then one morning, completely out of the blue, shouting, like crazy
Yo.
top of your lungs shrieking. We all wake up, of course, in a blind panic thinking we're getting raided or something. Turns out, there's a bunch of these freaks in hoods right underneath our camp, screaming up at us, telling us to praise the Lord and all this shit about the Ikea gods. Now, by this point, Elliot has woken up, and Elliot doesn't like being woken up. Now, I don't know if you've realised this yet about him, but he has a short fuse. Don't get me wrong, he's got a heart of gold, bless him, but the old boy can get pretty angry pretty quickly. So, he's woken up, and he's not happy. He ropes down there like an SAS squaddy and begins swinging punches. He knocks one of them spark out and then begins starting on the others. I mean, at this point, we're all so confused. We're sleeping in a treehouse inside Ikea when suddenly a load of Death Eaters turn
Eaters.
up, telling us to praise the god of
What?
woodchip. Elliot has then swan dived down and gone one-man army on them.
That's just
Now,
funny though.
You might think we would be worried for Elliot. Well, we weren't. Not in the slightest. We were worried about the rest of their group turning up and seeing all of this. Turns out, though, they were pushovers.
Huh.
They picked up their guys and legged it. Didn't leg it very far, mind, as you can see, but in the end, that worked in our favour. You see, they are so noisy. The staff are always hassling them and not us. Not only that, but because of their belief, they'll walk for days on end to get food and supplies which we can then trade for. You see, a couple of days later we saw that they'd set up shop over there, and so we decided to go and make peace. Obviously we didn't want war
you
with another
beat them already
faction.
though, like.
So we get there and, I kid you not, they've converted 3 or 4 shelving stacks into a settlement. Walls easily
shit.
30-35 feet high, reinforced with sheet metal they'd found. Next thing we notice is hundreds of dead staff piled up around the walls, like
Wait, it
hundreds and
trapped the
hundreds.
others though.
Dragging all them away must have taken up most of their day. Anyway, me and Sasha managed to gain an audience with the big chief guy and apologise for Elliot. Oddly though, he was fine with it, which left us both bewildered and relieved. Other groups would kill you for less. He said that everyone in here is part of the Lord's plan and we are all his sheep and some crap like that. When we questioned him on his opinions and to the staff, he said that they are the Lord's angels, but by night the devil corrupts their minds. I
Yeah,
told
not
you,
jokes.
nut jobs. Basically,
Yo.
they believe that as soon as you come through the doors, you die. This is the afterlife, and we exist to praise the Lord
no,
and
bro,
defend
no.
it and yourselves from the devil's influence. I don't know, son. Each to their own, I guess. If that's how they deal with this, then more power to them. I'm getting away from myself. Where was I? Ah, yes. We got talking some more, and it turns out that their group has lots of food. And better still,
this cold
they can get
crazy,
more.
you know.
At that moment, I'm looking for any kind of angle I can get to try and get some of this food without resorting to violence or blackmail. I pointed out their staff issue and offered to beef up their defences and provide them with a regular supply of new weapons and
That's
defences
bad news right
in
there, bro.
return for a fair share of the
No
food.
brainer move right there.
After a
Don't
bit
give
of
them
back and
weapons
forth, we
though,
came
you
to an
stupid as
agreement.
fuck. What?
To start with, we put some holes in their walls, big enough to stick a pole through so they could spear the staff. Till then, they'd been throwing and dropping everything they could find from the top. It didn't work though, there were just too many of them. We tried barricades to try and thin them out a bit. They were effective, but
Okay.
still didn't fix the issue. Eventually, I managed to engineer a system where the staff only came down one aisle. I fortified the adjacent shelves and put spear holes in them, so then a bunch of their group could just sit in them overnight and take down any staff that came through, while the rest got some sleep. I did point out that none of this would be necessary if they just shut up for the night, but they wouldn't hear a word of it. Goes against their beliefs and all that. It all works out very nicely though, because
If
we
you
need the
just
food
shut the
and they
fuck
need the
up at
weapons.
night, you know,
Gonna send across some of Sasha's traps once we
you
get
won't
them working
attract those
properly.
things.
In time we can also start getting them out to other settlements as well. Here, I tell you what, why don't you come along with me and Nancy tomorrow? We can show you them in action. Good lad. Speaking of which,
Okay.
you should go get some sleep, son. It's been a big day for you, and you've got an even bigger one tomorrow. You're part of the Treehouse clan now, and the tree only stands tall so long
that's
as
a nice-
each root holds it
It's a
down.
nice saying though.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Good. Now, let's go get some sleep.
Yo.
And that
Yo, guys,
concludes
that was
this
good,
tale
bro.
about
That
the
was so
Roosters.
immersive
I
as
hope you
hell.
enjoyed this video. Be sure to
Again.
like and subscribe if you did. Again, let me know
bro,
if you liked it, and I'll try to come up with some more
illustrated,
tales.
bro.
In the
He's so
meantime, I
good
have
at
another old
telling
Patreon
stories
video
and
for you a
shit,
bit later this
especially
month,
this-
namely
he only made this one, you know.
SCP-2421, Don't
Shit's
Let the
crazy,
Bath
bro.
Bugs Bite. Be sure to follow all the social media outlets for video updates.
Yo guys, that is SCP-3008, Tales from the Ikea, The Rooster, Chapter 1. You know, bro, by SCP illustrated. By the way, guys, like, bro, SCP illustrated, bro, like, he's so good at storytelling. He reminds me so much of SCP Explorer. You know, he never get bored listening to his voice and stuff. Also, quick note though, this guy that was narrating his story was actually a survivor from the exchange. If you don't know, from my last IKEA video, the exchange was actually overrun by those IKEA stuff, you know. They were overrun by IKEA stuff because those things actually attracted to their own dead kind, you know. So if you leave even a piece of hand that you killed from that thing, they will attract the other IKEA stuff, you know. Shit, I always say SCP, what the fuck. Anyways, like the video, guys, you know, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button for post notifications. If you have any suggestions, comment down below. Also, I'm gonna make another chapter 2, this one, the war, you know. Anyways, I'll see you guys soon.